For a while, I felt like when I made videos, I either needed to be really, really like prepared, like have a whole presentation in front of me, or I needed to be totally unprepared, which is what I do when I react to videos. Obviously, I haven't seen any of the videos before, but I think there's a good middle ground where I can just sort of react to things and talk about them and figure them out as we go. So what are some good fish myths? Let's take a look at some popular fish myths and see what we can learn. I know that there's Pacu biting dudes nuts. There's Kandiru up, you know. What are things like that? Let's talk about things like that. Let's actually investigate them, because these things have come up a lot in videos, and I've said they seem ridiculous, but then there's always like one person who's like, hey, I'm from Brazil and this is an actual thing that has happened. Now, I don't mean big things like fish feel no pain. I've talked about stuff like that before. Or sharks attacking people. You know, I've talked about stuff like that before. Fish grow to the size of their tanks. That's, again, something I've talked about. All right, well, we can just goldfish attention span. That's interesting, but I think I might do that separately. I think this is fine. We'll just talk about this. So these are two very common myths that get brought up a lot and talked about a lot. It is that Pacu will bite, you know, a dude's nuts because they like eating nuts in the wild in environments that they're released it to. So that's the first thing I want to talk about. Pacu biting nuts. This is a dangerous Google search. So let me just make sure that this article is okay. Oh, there's an article on it. We can actually just look at the article. Okay. I can officially confirm that there are no testicles on this page. Okay. Is it a testicle-biting fish? Red-bellied Pacu, mostly vegetarian cousin of the piranha with human-like teeth. The rating is mostly false. What does mostly false mean? There are no documented instances of Pacu fish biting men's testicles off or of anyone dying from a Pacu bite. There was a warning in 2013 for Scandinavian men not to swim nude in the Strait of Øresund, the risk of this. Now, here's a weird thing. There are people in my Discord or in my chat or in my YouTube comments who say, hey, I'm from Brazil. This is a real thing that has happened. I know, you know, my uncle's cousin's goldfish's brother's sister's, you know, midwife has had this happen to them. Wear your trunks, no ifs, ands, or nuts. That's insane. They've been known to mistake testicles for something nice. Jesus. It was fluff readers might have chuckled at and ignored, except that in most cases, not normally dangerous, just quite a serious bite. Papua New Guinea, where some men have had their testicles bitten off. So apparently there's cases in Papua New Guinea where it's actually happened. The nuts that they're eating, the fruits that they're eating are splashing down from above, and humans don't act like that when they're swimming. There were rumors circulating about it for years. I don't know. So it seems like there's no actual true documented instance of it ever happening, but people who live there actually truly believe that it's a thing. A lot of old people talk, this is really a thing here, Brazil. Like, a lot of old people talk about this. Personally, I haven't met anyone that happened to. See, this is what I mean. So many people tell me this and I don't know what to believe. How do I form my beliefs when a bunch of people are like, yes, this is a real thing that has happened before? I don't know anyone personally, or I don't know evidence. Does anyone in chat know someone who it has personally happened to? You know what I mean? Okay, don't just say me. You can't just say me when it's obviously not you. Folklore is a belief system. That's fair. I guess if you truly believe in the folklore. But then it's hard because I don't want to discredit those people, right? Like, I don't want someone in my YouTube section to be like, yeah, no, this never happened, and me to be, or this happened, and me to be like, no, it didn't. Me as the American white guy who's never been to Brazil or Papua New Guinea in my life, I'm gonna say that your, you know, folklore is false and you're dumb, right? Like, I don't want to discredit things like that, so it's kind of difficult. But I don't want to be on the fence forever. All right, well, let's take a look at the other one. I believe this one supposedly Kandiru up the urethra has more credibility to it. Oh, I gotta look at this off stream again. Hold on a minute. There's a helpline page on this. What? May have read strange tales. The Kandiru fish in the Amazon or South America. It's a type of catfish, about 1 inch long. It's parasitic. It has spines located on the covers of gills to attach itself to gills of other fish. So it swims into the gills of other fish and, you know, sticks itself there. So that is a good, you know, adaptation that would make sense if, you know, a small one was going to do that. They can be traced back to the 19th and early 20th centuries. Attracted by urine. Yeah, this is the thing that I always found ridiculous about this. If this was going to happen, and I'm not saying it's likely, but theoretically this could happen at some point or another. But if this was going to happen, I would expect that this would happen when someone was naked in the water, not peeing. The idea, like, I don't feel like the hydrodynamics of a fish swimming up a pee stream makes any sense. Does that sound ridiculous to you guys too? I feel like that sounds ridiculous. The idea of something swimming up a, like, that doesn't seem possible. Like, think, like, scale it up to human size. Imagine a blast of water is coming out of a pump and it's just like barely bigger than you. Could you swim up it? Like, this is the entire concept of water parks. Yeah, and the force is pretty strong as well. Point being, that part seems unrealistic. It says there's very little credible evidence. The most recent reported case, wait, how are you going to say there's very little credible, well, credible, I guess. 1997, a report made in Portuguese, a Brazilian neurologist claimed to have removed a candiru from a person's urethra. Oh God, okay. So there is a Brazilian urologist, so a person who works specifically with this type of thing, who claims to have done this. Studies have shown that they're not actually attracted to urine, though, which is a fairly common thing. Like, sharks a lot of the time aren't even actually attracted to blood, but that's a very common myth. So it seems like the conclusion is this is a real thing that probably has happened at some point or another, but not to the extent that it's talked about, and it's certainly not like... First of all, there's no way they swam up the pee stream. The person had to have been naked, right? And it just happened at one point by pure accident. And that, you know what? That's unfortunate. Rip to that guy, but it happened at some point or another. But that's probably it. I mean, no one said it was common, but it's, you know, with myths like this, people actually get scared or like talk about the candiru as the fish that does that. Like, this is just a thing that happens in Brazil, when I don't think that's true. I think the conclusion from this is not a thing that just happens. This is a thing that may or may not have at some point happened, but is like, yeah. That's a good way to put it. It's a 1 in 100,000 chance if you were trying. If you specifically went out of your way to spend weeks of your life naked in, you know, the Amazon, you still would have probably even a 1 in 100,000 chance of this actually happening, even if you put in all of the effort possible. Probably even if you swam in a pool of just candiruos, that'd be an experiment. Let's pay someone to do that. Let's pay the next in the next Jackass movie. Let's have them get in a pool full of candiru naked and see what happens. We just need someone brave enough to do the experiment, and then we can prove that it's a real thing or not. Trans woman free surgery? No, I don't think that's quite... I don't think the surgery would be free. I think you're thinking of the Pacu with the castration thing, which is not the same thing.